When you're using a 360, there really, in my opinion, are two fundamentally different types of scores, two different types of scores. There's the self score, and then there is the observer score, right? So the self score is how does the individual themselves see themselves showing up as a leader and as a professional, and the observer score is how do their bosses or boss, peer, and direct reports experience them as a leader and as a professional. And there's a difference about what goes into a self score versus what goes into an observer score. And the big distinction here for me is a couple of things. But with the self score, you have to remember this is internal and external. So the big difference with a self score is um, the leader has the luxury of knowing all of the leadership that they do in their head, right? If this is an individual who does a lot of internal processing or a lot of internal thinking, then that goes into their assessment taking process. And it goes into how they feel like they are showing up again as a leader and as a professional. I always tell people, you know, if you do all of your strategic thinking at the breakfast table, then but you don't bring it to work, then I truly believe you're a strategic person, but you might not be a strategic leader, right? Because when we move over to the observer score, you have to think about this is only what the individual makes observable, right? People can only rate others on what they see, on what they experience. And so there is a really big distinction between the self score and the observer score. And I think it plays a really big role in blind spots in terms of how does the person feel as if they're showing up, and if there's a lot of internal stuff going on, and they're not making it observable, I think it can lead to a blind spot.